In the heart of Aoji, a village blessed with rolling hills and golden farmlands, lived two sisters, Olamma and Adama. Their beauty was the talk of the village, but it was their intelligence and strong spirits that made them truly remarkable. Olamma was calm, kind, and thoughtful, always considering others before herself. She was like the moon, gentle but ever-present. Adama, on the other hand, was fiery and outspoken, quick to challenge anyone, even her elders. Like the sun, she shone brightly but sometimes burned too hot. Though they were as different as night and day, they were inseparable. Their mother Nneka often warned them, "A tree with two strong branches must not let the wind break one, for both will suffer." She knew their competitiveness could either strengthen or destroy their bond. One morning, after pounding yam for breakfast, Nneka, a hard-working and wise woman, called her daughters, Olamma and Adama, into the kitchen. The aroma of fresh palm oil and roasted yams filled their small but well-kept hut. Birds chirped outside as the village of Aoji stirred to life. Nneka wiped her hands on her wrapper and handed them 2 clay pots. "Go to the stream and fetch water before the sun gets too hot," she instructed. Olamma took her pot eagerly. "Yes, Mama." She enjoyed the morning walks to the stream, where the cool breeze and rustling trees made everything peaceful. Adama, however, frowned. "Must we always be the ones to fetch water?" she grumbled. "Why can't the younger children do it?" Nneka gave her a firm but kind look. "Water is life, my child. When you work together, even the hardest task becomes light." Adama sighed loudly, but she picked up her pot anyway. Olamma smiled at her. "Come on, Adama. Let's go before the sun rises too high." With their pots balanced on their heads, the two sisters set off down the dusty path that led to the village stream. The road to the stream was lively, filled with the sounds of the waking village. Traders pushed wooden carts filled with vegetables and fruits. Young boys herded goats along the path, and women carried baskets of food on their heads. The scent of freshly baked corn cakes filled the air as the sisters walked past a group of children eating by the roadside. As they continued, they came across an old woman struggling under the weight of a large basket filled with tubers of yam and plantains. She was bent over, her steps slow and unsteady. Without hesitation, Olamma rushed forward. "Let me help you, Mama." The old woman looked up in surprise before breaking into a grateful smile. "Ah, my child, may the gods bless you." Olamma balanced the heavy basket on her head with ease and walked beside the old woman. Adama, however, stood back and tapped her foot impatiently. "Olamma, we are wasting time. If we don't hurry, the stream will be too crowded." The old woman chuckled as she turned to Adama. "Patience, my daughter. Kindness is like palm oil. It makes the journey of life smooth." Adama huffed but said nothing. She didn't see the point in stopping to help when they had their own task to complete. After a short walk, they reached the old woman's hut, where Olamma carefully set down the basket. The woman placed a gentle hand on Olamma's shoulder. "Your heart is pure, child. Never change." Olamma smiled warmly before hurrying to catch up with her sister, who was already walking ahead. "That was pointless," Adama muttered. Olamma sighed but didn't argue. The sisters soon approached the Cliff of Echoes, a steep gorge with rushing water below. The narrow path beside it was the only way to reach the village stream. Villagers always walked in a single file, careful with every step. Ahead of them, a young boy carrying a water pot stumbled slightly on a loose stone. His mother gasped and quickly grabbed his arm before he could fall. Olamma felt a chill run down her spine. One wrong step, and anyone could tumble into the roaring fountain below. She turned to Adama. "Be careful where you step." Adama rolled her eyes. "I know how to walk, Olamma." Slowly and carefully, they made their way along the narrow path until they finally reached the stream's edge. The village stream was breathtaking. Tall palm trees lined the banks, their green leaves swaying in the wind. The clear blue water sparkled under the sunlight as it flowed over smooth stones. Birds sang in the branches, and small fish splashed in the shallows. Olamma took a deep breath. The air smelled fresh, mixed with the cool scent of water lilies. The sisters bent down and lowered their clay pots into the stream, watching as water slowly filled them. That was when Olamma noticed something strange. A little further downstream, a golden calabash floated gently on the water's surface. It was unlike any calabash she had ever seen. The sunlight reflected off it, making it shimmer like pure gold. It drifted lazily, as if waiting for someone to claim it. Olamma's breath caught. "Adama, look," she whispered, pointing. Adama turned her head and gasped. A golden calabash. Her eyes widened with excitement as she waited a few steps closer. "We have to take it." Olamma hesitated. "What if it belongs to the river spirits?" she asked, a note of caution in her voice. Adama scoffed. "Olamma, don't be foolish. If it belonged to the spirits, would it be floating here for us to find?" Before Olamma could protest, Adama grabbed a long stick and stretched it toward the calabash. The moment the stick touched the calabash, a low humming sound filled the air. The villagers at the stream stopped what they were doing and turned to listen. Even the birds in the trees suddenly went silent. A strange feeling crept into Olamma's heart. Something was not right. But Adama was too focused on the treasure to notice. She stepped into the shallow water and stretched out her hand. The moment her fingers brushed the calabash, it split open. Inside, golden coins, coral beads, and shining jewels sparkled under the morning sun. Adama's mouth fell open. "We are rich," she breathed. Olamma hesitated before reaching out to touch one of the gold coins. It was warm, as if it had been sitting in the sun for hours. A strange thought crossed her mind. Why would a calabash filled with treasure be left here? As they carefully gathered the treasure into the broken calabash, Adama's eyes gleamed. "Olamma," she said in a hushed voice, "we should keep this a secret. If we tell Mama and Papa, they'll share it with the whole family. But if we keep it, we'll never have to work again." Olamma frowned. "That would be wrong. The gods placed this treasure here for a reason. We must do what is right." Adama folded her arms. "Why should we give it away? We found it." Olamma took a deep breath. "Greed will only bring trouble, Adama. Let's do the right thing." Adama scowled but said nothing. However, deep in her heart, jealousy and greed took root. As they lifted the treasure between them and began the journey home, a pair of unseen eyes watched them from the depths of the stream. The stream goddess had been listening. The road home seemed longer than before. The calabash, though not large, felt heavy in Olamma's hands. The weight of responsibility pressed on her heart. Adama, on the other hand, walked quickly, her mind racing with ideas. "What if we hide some of it before we get home?" she thought. As they walked past the twisted baobab tree, a crow cawed loudly from above. Olamma shivered. In their village, crows were seen as messengers of the gods. "Olamma," Adama said suddenly, her voice smooth and sweet, "let's stop for a moment. My feet are tired." Olamma hesitated. "We are almost home, Adama. Let's keep going." But Adama dropped her pot of water, spilling it onto the ground. "Now we must wait for it to dry, or Mama will know I was careless," Adama said with a sigh. Olamma frowned. "You did that on purpose." Adama smiled but said nothing. As they waited, Adama eyed the treasure, her fingers itching to take just a little before they got home. But before she could act, a strong wind blew through the trees, whispering like voices in the air. The sisters froze, sensing that they were being watched. The wind carried a warning. Just as Adama reached for a shiny gold bracelet in the calabash, the ground beneath them trembled. The air turned cold, and a soft voice called from the trees. "Children of Aoji, do you think the gods do not see?" The sisters turned sharply. Standing before them was a woman unlike any they had ever seen. Her skin was the color of the river at sunset. Her hair flowed like water, and her eyes glowed like moonlight reflecting on a calm stream. Olamma immediately knelt, her heart pounding. "Goddess of the stream," Adama gasped, her mouth dry. She tried to step back, but her feet would not move. The goddess stepped closer, her gaze piercing through them. This treasure was placed as a test. It does not belong to you alone, yet one of you has greed in her heart. Olamma looked at her sister, tears forming in her eyes. Adama, you were going to steal from our own family? Adama's lips trembled. She lowered her head. I don't know what came over me, she whispered. The goddess raised a hand, and the air grew thick. The golden coins in the calabash shimmered strangely, as if alive. Greed destroys all that is good, the goddess said. A person who holds onto wealth too tightly will find themselves holding nothing at all. Adama fell to her knees, shame washing over her like a wave. Forgive me, great goddess, she pleaded. I was wrong. Olamma reached out and held Adama's hand. We are sisters. We must always walk the right path together. The goddess smiled softly, her face no longer stern. You have learned your lesson. Let this be the last time greed darkens your heart. Then, with a swirl of mist and a cool rush of wind, she was gone. The calabash, once broken, was whole again. The treasure inside shone brighter than before. When the sisters returned home, they told their parents everything. Their father, Okonkwo, was silent for a long time before he finally said, "Wealth means nothing if your heart is empty. But today, you have filled your hearts with wisdom." The family shared the treasure with the village, and the people rejoiced. The elders sang praises, and the children danced around the village square. That night, as Olamma and Adama lay in bed, Adama whispered, "We will never let greed come between us again." Olamma smiled. Yes, for we are two branches of the same tree. And with that they drifted off to sleep, their bond stronger than ever. The end.